Hello, everybody. Hi, guys. Am I connected for you? Are you guys seeing me at all? Awesome, 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 awesome. I'm right now in New York, in New York State, in Rhinebeck, New York, at a place called Omega and the Omega Institute. And I am on the end of day 3 of doing a 4-day evolving out loud. And tomorrow I just do the morning and then I'm out. And I have shifted more than ever because it's getting longer and longer. And to have another day to process it, to have another day to connect with myself, to have it's been so crazy. Is anyone here from Omega? Which means they're probably in the room down the street from me. But if you're here from Omega and you saw me at Omega, hi, Amy. You know this has been really crazy. It gets deeper as I go farther. And at one point last night, I was doing so much work and I went so far. There was a part of me that I noticed was I was, the first couple days I was running through the content that catches them up, and kind of doing some of the same stuff and some of the stuff that I've done to get caught up. And last night I noticed this part of me that was like, I actually feel like I'm done doing this. Like there was a part of me that said that, and I graduated past that part of me that did it at that level. And this morning I completely had literally I felt like I was in a new land. I felt like I had no idea what was going to happen on a whole new level. I feel really very connected. I walked all the way onto the stage with like, I got nothing. And this entire new me came through today. Oh my God, it was crazy. So much new stuff, so much deeper stuff. And it required the death of what I thought I was yesterday. It required me to just say, I'm done with this thing, because sometimes we can get tied into the identity of the person that does the thing. And if you think who you are is that author, or who you are is that entrepreneur, or who you are is that speaker, then at times you'll get attached to that versus attached to you. And when you get caught up in that stuff, sometimes you forget that you're the source of it. And sometimes when that happens, life will tell you your stuff will fall apart. You might lose your voice. You might get sick. You might get tired. You might feel like, why am I doing this? And it's kind of crazy because you can graduate from it and go, I'm actually felt like I was like, had a moment, I was like, I'm done doing EOLs. That was what it felt like last night. And I needed to just throw away this old, it was like a snake shedding its skin. I was like, I'm done. And it's not that I'm done doing EOLs. It's that me had to die a little bit. There was a me that was coming up that was different. And today, a different me came through. And one of the things that came up today that was so big was when you step into a leap, when you let go of something heavy, when you align with the truth of what you are, I really found some stages that happen. And the first thing is when you're on it, when you're on this and you think when you start doing this and you started doing these calls, most of us think all we are is our circumstances. And you feel this linear line with who you think you are. You might even notice that now, that your mind thinks it's just the story of my past and what I'm going to do in the future. It has this linear line. And then you come to one of my events and I do this thing where I take your linear story and you're sitting on top of it and you're saying, this is me. And I open a trap door. And the first day and a half at Omega was all of us falling through. And when you start to fall through and you start to shed your old story, you're going to feel really sad. You're going to feel excited in your body, but there's a part of you that's grabbing onto the old story. So that's the sadness. And it's that grabbing on and you not connecting to it's feeling, you're feeling. And when you feel sad, this is something I said at the event and something I've said this week. When you feel sad, know that that's on its way out. It's on its way out. That's what sadness is. It's trying to come up and out. And a huge mistake we make when we're sad is we try to fix the mistake directly versus letting the old story of the mistake leave your body. So for instance, you fall through the thing and you're really missing your ex and you really want to call your ex and you really want to call your ex. Okay. Well, if you call your ex, that's you going back up to the old story again. But if you allow yourself to keep falling and crying, you'll notice sometimes the saddest you'll get is at night. And if you let yourself feel sad when it's at night and you go to bed and you don't get drunk and you don't numb it and you don't distract yourself and you let yourself go to sleep, in that sadness, you then reconnect to yourself for 8 hours. And when you wake up, you'll feel amazing. Amazing. You will feel amazing in the next morning. If you go to bed feeling like crap, and sometimes it might take a couple days, but often you'll notice the later in the day, the more you've been focused on society, the more you get in your head, and the more your pain starts to show up. Sometimes it shows up in the morning, but you have to find it. How many times have you come out of a sleep and then you like feel good again and you're almost like, wait, I feel good. What was I? Oh yeah, last night I was worried about this thing. Okay, there it is. There it is. Now I feel like crap again. But you almost have to find it with your mind, because when you wake up, you almost forget that you feel good again. So this is crazy, because when you deepen your work and you step and you feel a leap, that's this, boom, you're going to go into it. And every time I've worked with anyone, when I really help them move into their leap, the first few days afterwards, they get so depressed and they'll call me and be like, I feel so off. I feel so confused. I'm like, stay in it. You're almost there. You're falling into you. You're falling into your depth. You're feeling your heart. You're feeling your body. You're about to go. And the pain is just the lingering old story grabbing on to whatever it can. So when you fall into you, it's better. And this totally ties into you working, because this is an opportunity to let go of the things that you do not want for your business, the old strategies, old ways, the old clients that are heavy, the people that make you feel like crap, the coworkers that don't align with you, the people in your life that don't feed your soul. Everything in your life, ask yourself, does it feed my soul or does it keep my old story alive? Everything in your life. You could walk through your house. Does this feed my soul or does this keep my old story alive? Go through your closet. 80% of the shirts in our closet we don't wear. Does this keep my old story alive? Do these shirts that I don't wear keep my old story alive? These shirts that aren't even the size that I am? Or do they feed my soul? No, they don't. Okay, you need to give that to someone that could use it, right? So that with everything, even with people that don't align with you, you need to give them to someone that can use them, because they aren't getting their most connection out of you. So do we run from everything that is not going well in the moment? Heather says, no. This isn't about not going well, because when you step into your greatest, you'll feel it not going well. And I'm like, stay with it, right? So yes, Marie Kondo, Lisa Taylor, but Marie Kondo, your life, your circumstances is what you're doing in your alignment, is your career to everything. It's not just clothing. Marie Kondo's amazing. And I read her book recently, way after I had been doing this. And I was like, this is what I talk about, light and heavy. Does it spark joy or do you want to toss it? Right. But you should look at everything in your life. Does it spark joy or do I want to toss it? Does it expand me? So the question is, shoots that you meant with coworkers and people. The question is, do they expand you even if it's chaotic? Do they keep your soul? Do they move you into your heart, right? Or do they shrink you? Because there's two different kinds of chaos. Does it move you into your heart? And does it shrink you? How do you avoid bringing it back in the morning? By not trying to avoid it. Don't try to avoid it. It can't last forever. And all of the pain that you're feeling in your life, all of it is not you. In other words, I promise you, if you were out in the woods for 3 weeks straight, all of those old things about you, your procrastinator, your control freak, everything would be gone. It's just a habit you've been holding on to. And to keep that habit alive, you have to fuel it. You have to fuel it with news. You have to fuel it with friends that help you gossip. You have to fuel it with online social media and talk, and you have to fuel it with information that doesn't fulfill you. You have to fuel it with how-to. You have to fuel it with, you know, a certain type of thing that you're doing that you have to fuel it. So the pain that you feel, all those things, what if what fills your soul doesn't manage to pay anything? You're just not seeing it all the way. To your ego, it won't pay anything. There's nothing more expensive than staying in your ego. Being in your soul is, what if it's a job that pays the bills? There's nothing more expensive than staying out of alignment. I don't care if the job that you're in, if you hate it, pays $10,000 an hour. It's more expensive to stay out of your alignment. I promise. Take that in for a minute. Even if you can see, I got this job, it's paying the bills, but I hate it. Okay, you're not even living. You're not living. You're just making money more important than living, right? So you're not experiencing what you're losing by not stepping into your heart, by not stepping into your expansion, because just doing the leap will show you things that you can't see, because it has nothing to do with the leap. It has to do with what you become. For instance, today, I was working with someone who's a therapist, and she has a client that's heavy. And she realized, I said, why do you keep that client? And she said, because I feel obligated. And I said, so do you understand that letting go of this client has nothing to do with the client? It has to do with you being in the practice of letting go of obligation, because obligation is an arbitrary thing. We take on people that we don't want to take on because we feel obligated. And the way to end that is by letting go of the things that we feel obligated to do. Who are we obligated to do it for? Who are we obligated to do it for? Because our parents told us that? Then we become this obligated person in front of our kids, in front of our families. We become obligation, and we teach them obligation and ignore your heart. And you're just doing it for obligation. You're just doing it to pay the bills, and you're totally unhappy. So half that money is going to addictions. Half that time is going on Netflix. Half that time is doing everything that you're not, because you feel so miserable because you're out of your heart. It would be like Superman never learning to fly because he has a job that pays the bills. Think about that. I'd love to go just become great and hear all this stuff, but I got to pay bills. You're not flying. You're not the same as all these people. And he's like, well, I believe in moderation, so I'm going to eat kryptonite half the day. Ugh, stop half killing yourself. Stop half stopping yourself from flying. You've no clue what you're capable of. And you'll never know until you step into those things that your body tells you to step into. It tells you you'll be in your body. It tells you that you'll be out of your head. And it says, or you can have this temptation right here, this crappy thing that makes your bills get paid, but you're in your head. And if you're in your head, you're going to not even know that you have a body. So you're going to eat like crap. You're going to drink. You're going to do drugs. You're going to stress it. You're going to give your body all this crap because you don't even know that you have a body, because you're in your head. And this is how everyone that stresses lives. And isn't it weird how you can see in their body that they're living this way? You can see that they are cutting off this thing that is loving you unconditionally all the time. It's loving you all the time. And we're busy trying to chase love from people who are also not connected to their body. And they're on their little eye, their little lion, their little old story. So instead of chasing love from people with money, and instead of chasing money, chase your highest excitement so money can chase you. You become worth more. People want to work with you. People want to know who you are because you suddenly have a freedom that all the money in the world isn't giving them. You become a person, you become possibility, and you become a new level of alignment. If you chase your highest excitement, money will chase you. And some people go, well, it's not working for me. How much are you actually doing it? Right? How much are you actually doing it? And it requires some emotional work, because to get there, you can't do it linearly with your mind. You fall into you. You fall into you. So this all is stuff that's starting to come up just from being in the work and feeling through it. And when you start to feel really sad, most of our instinct is to fix the sadness because it's telling you the problem. And you believe the problem is that you really miss that person or that job, or you better go back to your old story, or you feel all alone for a second. So instead of catering to what this says and going back up to the small you, let yourself cry it out a couple more days. Let yourself feel miserable and actually end the story, actually end the identity as someone who does that small thing. You are worth billions, but you got to step into it. You are worth billions, but if you make money more important than you lose both. If you make you more important than money, you gain both. You will self-respect. You'll have self-respect. You'll be honoring your truth. You'll be amazing. You'll be in your alignment. And the most important thing you'll realize that you actually have a limited amount of is time. And when you wake up and meditate for the first 2 hours, you prove to yourself that your time is worth money. So you don't just hand your time away, because you change so fast in the 2 hours that people will go, do you want to go do this stupid thing? And you're like, no, because in 2 hours, I can actually transcend an entire life story. So no, I'm going to use the next 2 hours to do what I love. I'm going to create. I'm going to paint. I'm going to sing. I'm going to do what expands me. I'm going to do what I love to do. Right? So when you wake up and you don't meditate a couple hours and you just do this through Facebook or Pinterest or Snapchat or naked people, I don't know what you do, but when you just wake up at MySpace, you guys are waking up and going on MySpace, I think that's going to do really well. I just got a Van Damme movie too that I think is going to just kill. But when you wake up, if you waste your time, then you say to yourself, my time isn't worth anything. I upgrade my top 8 every morning. It made me laugh. Upgrade too, not update. I upgrade it. It's a better top 8. So when you wake up every morning and you spend the first couple hours wasting your time, you just pull the phone up, you just prove to yourself that 2 hours is worth nothing. So you have no backbone. You have no your source. Your time is worth nothing to you. So once you do a couple hours, you might do all day. And you might take on stuff and let people manipulate you and allow yourself to play at a very low percentage of yourself. But if you wake up and you allow yourself to feel connected, and even if it's difficult, that doesn't mean you can't do it. And I promise you, if you do it consistently, it will get easier. Who here has been meditating consistently since we started the calls? Who's been doing it? I'm just curious. A lot of people said I will. Who's been doing it? Really? Wow, wow, wow. Amazing. Tell me if I'm wrong. Has it gotten easier for you? Has it gotten lighter, maybe? Amazing. Since the Alex, wow. So it's easier. So remember, when you say it's hard, that's a great reason to do it. That's a great reason to do it. I can't do it because it's hard. Well, that's why we do it, to make it easier. I can't do this because it's not. That's why we do it. I don't know how. That's why we do it, to learn how. Yeah, but I don't have enough money. That's why we do. You don't have money because staying in the small story is not paying for anything. It's because you're in the small story that it's costing you money. So if it's become harder, so Julia Beckel says, no, it's become harder. That means there's still new stuff that's trying to come up. That means there's still new stuff that you're avoiding. That means that when it says it's harder, you're not okay with that. Because the only factor is what makes meditation harder is, are you resisting it in that moment? Because the stuff coming up is not hard. It's, are you judging it in that moment? So when it gets harder, are you going, and I love that? Are you loving it for real? The only way it can be hard is if you don't love it. And when you love it, you create a new pocket for love, where in that place that you were judging. What's the difference between ego thinking and things coming up to clear? Everything coming up is on its way out. So when you're feeling something and you have a vision of like a bad memory with a parent or whatever, that's because it's leaving. And a problem that we have is we try to do something with it. In other words, something comes up and your ego goes, what does this mean? Why did it show me that thing with my grandpa? And that's your problem. What you should see it as is much more like this. If you're ready to cry, Dina, let yourself. We need to cry. It shouldn't be scary. It should be as common as peeing, right? That should be a normal thing. I cry a lot. It's a part of my life. That's beautiful. And when you have a vision of something, it's trying to leave. But if you go, what does this mean for me? That's your ego trying to make significance out of it. If you see it, that's because it's leaving. Now, if you went to a dentist and he pulled a cavity out of your mouth and you see it on the way out, it'll be gone in a minute. But it won't be if you grab it and go, what does this mean? Think about that. You're just seeing it because it's leaving. You don't have to do anything with it. And it's in trying to get rid of thoughts. It's in trying to make significance out of the meaning. It's trying to get your ego to do something about all the shit that's coming up, that you're losing it because you're trying to change it. So instead, put the cavity on your temple. Instead of trying to do anything, imagine that tonight when you meditate, or tomorrow, that you're going to just be on an operating table. And how little do you have to do other than wait there? When you have an operating table situation, they just say, lie down, I got it. And then something pulls it out of you. Well, when you meditate, same thing. The universe is going, I got it. I think you're done with this story. Boom, you're done with this. Just wait and let it get pulled out of you. But if you were like trying to help the universe get rid of it, or you're on the operating table and it's pulling it out of you and you're like, oh, and also this, and also who's doing that? Let it just pull it out. Dina, if you are crying and he's coming, if he doesn't like that you're crying, he's the wrong guy. You need to cry and be you. Don't change you for the date. Please. If he's the right guy, he's going to love you crying. A good guy will allow you to release. Please take that in. If you are crying, you just created the perfect test on if you should even go on the date. If you cry and he freaks out because he can't handle emotions, he's not the right guy for you. Are you feeling that? Let yourself feel. Let yourself be you. And the right person in your life will love every part of you. They'll love your pain. They'll love your tears. They'll love your mistakes. They'll love every part of you. And one of the problems is we stop being ourselves so we can get the right date, and we sacrifice who we are. And then eventually the real us comes out and they're all pissed, but we were presenting a character anyway. So if you're single and you're looking for someone to align with you, be you completely. Let yourself cry on the first date. It sounds insane, but if you're feeling emotional and you want to tell the truth of who you are, allow yourself to be that. And if they run, good. You've helped yourself disqualify yourself from going through 3 months of insanity because you had to be phony. And then when you see them again, you got to be the character again. You got to be the phony person again. Be you for everything, even clients and customers and coworkers. The right coworkers will love all of you. The right coworkers and teammates and clients and audience. I go on camera and cry. There's a video called Mourning My Mom. You can watch me cry with more fat on my body. You can watch me cry because I made a video the day after my mom died, which was about a year ago, almost today, and I cried. So if you want to see me cry, do that. And I didn't lose anybody. And anyone I lost is stupid. Like, it's not my life. You go. I'm on service to the universe. And if I'm going to lose clients over that, they are not ready for universal truths. So I'm in service to that. And my offer to you is for you to be in the practice of being you and let everybody who doesn't align with it run. There's the link if you want to see it. I wouldn't recommend opening 2 tabs and watching skinny me be all happy and the other me crying, but it's been a crazy year. So you can actually experience the difference in me now because I've had a year of crying out my beautiful mother. I've had a year of crying and feeling and joy of my daughter and being in me. And the business has gone better and better and better because I'm me. But the second I apologize for being me, the business goes down. Don't apologize for being you, no matter how weird you are, no matter how off it is. Be you. I don't care how, whatever, just honor who you are. And people won't even care about what you're selling. They'll care about how much you own you. Man, I'm not a fan of the band Culture Club, but I think Boy George owns himself so much that I still went to the concert with Christy. We saw him. It was great. There's some musicians I'm like, that's an average musician, but they own themselves so much that I love how much I feel permission to be me in that. Right? Be you. I don't care how weird it is. I don't care how much you don't feel it fits in. The world needs permission to be themselves. So do you put all of that out there? Yes. Yes. When you make a daily video every day, they're going to see you in all of your emotions. And by the way, anger starts to leave because the more you're open to feeling, your span moves more between sadness and euphoria. Anger is when you really believe it's something outside of you that's doing it, so you feel you have no control over it. So if you just go beyond anger and into what you feel in your body, in your stomach and in your heart and in your body, the sensations, the feelings, and feel calm and patience and a compassion for yourself. The real problem isn't that someone did something to you. The real problem is you believe who you are is what these people think of you. The real problem is you believe who you are is what these people think of you. So you're waiting for them to forgive you or for them to apologize. And the only apology and the only forgiveness that truly actually is transcending is a self-forgiveness, where you look at yourself and you see what you are and you realize that your real pain comes from seeing yourself through other people who don't understand you. So it's nice to apologize to other people and it's nice to forgive other people. But let me tell you something, if you just apologize to someone and immediately they forgive you, that's nice, but you're now codependent on them because you're not released until they say it's okay. So imagine if you learn to transcend something by being with your own pain, being with your own pain, being with your own pain, and then new you just forgave something, you just let go of a part of you that you thought was outside of you. You just freed yourself because really the only factor of your pain is you accidentally think who you are is what people outside are thinking of you. That's the real biggest factor. They're not going to like me. Boom. You're trying to have them understand you through you, but do you understand you? Do you understand you? Okay, what did Diane say? I see everyone's talking to Diane here. What did Diane say? When I showed anger when I was 7 years old, my mom beat me till I was welted all over my body. I didn't share my feelings for 20 years. Well, so much love to you, Diane, because you're here right now. And I hear that story and I have compassion for it and I understand it and I love you. And you get to transcend it now. You get to feel here. So I just want you to know, Diane, you're seen and loved, and that is shitty. And that sucks. And if I were with you in person, I would hug you for a long time and tell you how amazing you are. And the only job that I have for everyone here is to help you reconnect to this thing. So you at any point, not through me, but see that you are this, not what mom thinks. Our moms who grew up in a totally different time, don't know what they're doing. Crazy. No excuse for it. And you need to feel you. So feeling you, Diane. So all of this, of course, applies to the core of everything you're doing professionally. Because if you're off internally, your business is off. It's a full reflection of you. So I like to do the real work because always, 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 the work has nothing to do with the outside as much as the core thing. Yes, there are some how-tos that you're going to need, but you learning how to love you makes you never take on something that would hurt you, makes you never take on something that drags you, gets you out of the belief system that you need to make money more important than you. Weirdly, the most incredible people in the world are not after money. I don't think Stevie Wonder is chasing money when he's writing music. But I know a lot of people that do think if I want to write a hit, I have to do it this strategic way. And they make these songs that show up really quick and then leave really quick. But Superstition's going to be here forever. You know, Billie Jean's going to be here forever. You think Michael Jackson was like, I need more money. That's why I'm going to write the Thriller album. No, he was like, oh, I want to be ultimate me. I want to know what the ultimate me is. I need to wear diamond glove just one gardening glove with diamonds on it, and walk backwards and forwards at the same time. I want to be an ultimate expression. You can feel the people who are doing things out of money. And if you're trying to get money, you're in your head. So everyone sees right through it because they're cut off from their heart the second you go into your head. So amazing. So I'm going to pull up some questions now and connect with you guys. So Claire has a perfectionism question. So on perfectionism, I love your analogy about apple trees focusing on just making apples. But how can us perfectionists? So first of all, already I'm going to stop here and just stop with something. Claire, are you here? Claire, are you on the call? Because I already want to point something out. You just identified yourself as a perfectionist. In other words, how can us perfectionists versus I used to be a perfectionist? In other words, that has nothing to do with who you are. That is a mind response to fear and control. What you are is right now. So I want you to just take a deep breath and undo this story that you are a perfectionist. And you're going to hate that, believe it or not. That's going to make you sad and angry. No, I am. And your mind has all this evidence from the past. But everyone, what's yours? Everyone write what your perfectionist is. So what's your thing that you go, how do I, as a procrastinator, and then give yourself the title, right? What's yours? Is it, how do I, as a control freak? Oh, there it is. Perfect. Carly said it. How do I, as someone disconnected? How do I, as an introvert? How do I, as a procrastinator? How do I, Jane of all trades, master of none, things that aren't right, indecisive. Let's undo outsider, professor, hermit, fear-based. I never want to hurt other people's feelings. So people pleaser, excellent. Security-oriented, procrastinator, excellent. As a single mom, lack of clarity. Do you think these things are who you are, or do you think these are clothes you've worn that you thought were you? This is big if you let it happen. So Claire, before I even go forward, does that align for you? Crappy clothes, old clothes. What if you're just even more than that? I understand that's scary. How do I, as a weirdo, how do I, as a whatever, not expert enough, getting it right for others, as a mom, dropper of balls? That's awesome. That's cool. How do I, as a dropper of balls? A misfit. Okay. Unreliable. LOL. An LOL. How do I, as an LOL? Now, first of all, let's use perfectionism as a strength. That's not who you are, but I bet there's a lot of people out there who are perfectionists. So let's use it as a strength, because maybe you could connect to perfectionists because you used to be one. So really quick, if you're on this call, you're not a perfectionist, because you're willing to let me go all over the place. And you're willing to write a question even if you don't know the answer. And you're willing to be all over the place. Even if you have all this evidence that you are a perfectionist, realize that you're willing to get messy here. You're willing to do it wrong. So I can't say that it's for sure that you're totally aligned with it, but I believe that you weren't born that way. I believe that you're just this heart beating. And you're just this space. So you got to be love for the part of you that you think is a perfectionist and be willing to do it wrong, or the part of you that you think is whatever yours was that you said. But let's answer that question. But how can us perfectionists tell when to let go of those apples and release them to the world? Each time I have a creative idea, I want to make it perfect. So first of all, just catch that. So Claire, are you still with me? What's coming up so far with what I said? Because the second you already say that, hi, Claire, the second you say, when I let go of that, awesome. When I let go of those, and what happened when I said that? Did you feel, no, you don't understand me, I'm a perfectionist? Or did you feel maybe there's a point? Did I open it up, or is it, am I going to have to pull it off really hard off you? Or is it just kind of like, that makes sense, there's a possibility here? I felt confused. Perfect. So let yourself feel confused, because we just went to a lower level. That's what confusion is. You just fell through your perfectionism. So let yourself not understand for a minute, okay? And let the perfectionist part of you that wants to prove to me how perfectionist you are and prove to you how perfectionist you are, let it just be there for a minute and let yourself be confused. And notice the combination of absolute terror and feeling more in your body. Everyone feel confused and feel more in your body. Feel absolute terror and more in your body. Absolute terror and more in your body. Feel the terror is temporary while your body is always here. Don't run into this. Don't respond. Just love. I never know where the hell I am. Thank God. Me neither. Coloring outside the lines. All right. So Claire, what are you feeling right now? What are you feeling? Not what are you thinking? Not what could this mean? What are you feeling right now? Feel in your body. What's the sensation you're feeling? Is it sadness, excitement, anxiousness, tense? Excellent. So perfect. Can you take a deep breath, Claire? And let the tension just be there. Everyone take a deep breath and let whatever you're feeling be there right now. So be there for the tense part of you that needed to get it perfect, because probably something bad would happen if you didn't get it perfect. Maybe a parent wasn't nice to you or would leave. Tension is being seen, so there's something that's under it. Be there for the knot in your stomach, Kristen. So I just love all the feelings and try not to figure it out. Correct. You're used to never feeling the feelings and going right to the thinking, right? Perfect. Excellent. So what happens if you don't go to the thinking and let yourself feel? Maybe you can actually just transcend things. Yes, my problem is trying to figure out, not just being. So now that we've identified it, Claire, just be for a second. Just be and let the chaos be in you, but don't go blank. Then go blank. Everything's perfect. What if you go blank? I might get rid of all my fear and anxiety. Yeah, that's possible, because anxiety is all in the head. My solar plexus clenching. Stomach hurts, uncomfortable. Let it be there for a minute. Take a deep breath. Feel tired. The belief is too much information. That's because your mind's trying to collect it all versus feel right now. Don't collect it all. Just feel. All I'm asking you to do is feel. I'm asking you to relax. This is scary. To who, though? Where are you falling into? All you're doing is sitting. My head, my neck, my nipples, and my jaw are so locked up. My soul keeps singing yes, trying to learn to accept the days I don't want to make an effort. Okay? Sometimes, well, you shouldn't make an effort. You should just be. Scary to my old story. Exactly. Not to you, Aaron. So we're falling into this. What if the tree is really hot in the sun or cold at night? All good. Still growing apples. I've been afraid of seeing the real me. I just keep helping others heal. Oh, you're finding new information now because you're feeling. So now it's time to see the real you. Letting go of the urge to figure out everything. Yes. So now we're going to a stage that's showing you things. So Larissa says, I feel disappointed, hoping I would be farther along in my business by now. So that's a problem right there, that you think you should be somewhere else. It's going to be chaos until you accept it. You need to learn to accept you. Too many projects started. Look at all the information you're seeing. Bleakness, scared, I can't get my clients to get the results. And remember, we've been doing this. My mind resists being so much. I know I need to meditate, but my thinking mind still thinks there are other things to do first. So don't honor it. You can see that's not you. You're already calling it your thinking mind, Claire. Don't honor it. That's the mind going, yeah, but. Don't honor it. Let it just fall into you. Let's remove effort. Let's just be for a minute. Choose to be the observer. If I let go, all my people will die. Yeah, probably. Ooh, not honoring it. Everything I was taught, I went against that. Oh. Afraid that I will block the things I want and really want to do. Isn't that funny how tricked we are? How egoic the mind is doing everything it can to stay alive. And by the way, let me ask you guys something. This thing that you're worried will happen if you step into your body, has the old way been keeping it going? In other words, if you step in your body, you'll make a lot. You're scared you won't make any money. Has being small made you a lot of money? Let's say I agree with what the egos are saying, because you're all telling me what your ego is saying. What if I say, you're right, go back to who you were before this? What if I say, the old way has definitely been keeping me small, but so hard to let go of it, because you're not going to let go of it. Every time you try to let go of something, you actually are picking it up. How do I let go of this? Remember this, you're picking it up. So you don't want to go back to the old way, because to me, that's scarier. I don't know how people are so scared to leap forward when I'm like, there's nothing scarier than staying small one more day. Picture you spending another day feeling like shit. Let yourself be scared. And by the way, we started this exercise 3 minutes ago. Give yourself a minute. Be patient. Why does it have to happen so damn fast? Oh, I feel scared for 3 minutes. I better run. Feel scared for a few days. You're bigger than everything you're scared of. I can't stand feeling like shit, but the old way is keeping you always feeling like shit. And luckily, we have a bunch of addictions to stop you from feeling. So then you just become codependent on the world. Yes, why do we feel like it has? Have you ever planted something in the garden and just stared at it 3 minutes in? Why isn't it a tree? That's the speed of nature. It works. It's more fulfilling than everything. It kicks all our ass. You will see the roots of a tree go under concrete and break it apart. You know why? Because nature is stronger than man, and nature has more foundation than man. But we have nature in us, and we have the ability to embody nature and move forward with a foundation in the world that's stronger than all egos in the world. Nature is stronger than man, so you got to connect to nature, and then you will be stronger than man. There's nothing that 100 men or more could ever do. What do you think they're saying there? I bless the rains down in Africa. It's waiting there for you. I'm going to take some time to do the things we never... going to take a lot to drag me away from you from my old story. There's nothing that 100 men or more could ever do. I can do more than 100 people. I bless the rains. The wild dogs cry out in the night as they grow restless, longing for some solitary company. That's verse 2 of Africa. The inside of you is dying to be alone with you. That's what that sentence means. I know that I must do what's right. Sure as Kilimanjaro right. In other words, he doesn't know what right is, so he's going to go connect with himself. It's waiting there for you. And he's between, should I be in this relationship or go find myself? And then at the very end, they go, hurry, boy, she's waiting there for you. This is total reference. Exactly, Africa. Because after you've connected with yourself, you can have everything you want. That's the point of this song. The song is, I need to go meet my heart now. So during that time, my truth evolves and another idea sets in. So the first during that time, my truth evolves and another idea sets in. So the first idea lapses, something that may have helped someone out there. I see. How can I work on being okay with releasing imperfect work so I can help more people? Okay, well, first of all, the same part of you that calls yourself a perfectionist is trying to have a goal of helping more people versus finding what you are. So instead of aiming for other people and trying to change people, meet you. A byproduct of this call is that I'm helping you guys, hopefully. But what do you think's really going on? I'm growing. I'm doing this because I want to grow. I get to create. I'm on this call because I'm creating, and I'm going to be better at being a person after this. But if I'm like, I got to just help you guys and I have no growth in it, and I just repeat a bunch of content to you that I wrote because I want to sell something to you or to get something, I'd be exhausted. I'm doing this for my creativity. And that's why you should take on a bunch of clients right now and hear yourself create. Hear yourself connect to you. I'm doing this for me. I want to know what I am. I want to grow. I have insights. I have breakthroughs on this. You do it for you. Don't do it for money. There we go. Sounds like that part nailed it for some people. Do this for you. Stop aiming for how do I get more people? Even how do I help more people? Help you. They will want to work with you at the level you are at. If you're trying to help them before you're helped, they will see right through you and they will not want to work with you. And there's a level and down that you're at That's the clients you can have. So if you're all screwed up, you can only have the consciousness level of clients and people that will work with you from where you are down. So if you allow yourself to meet yourself and move into your body more and into your wholeness more and everything like that, then you'll have a whole bunch more clients or people that want to work with you. But do it because you love doing it. My dare to you is take on as much that you can that doesn't overexert you or exhaust you this week. Offer it. Lower your price a little bit, right? Make yourself work. Like I had said last week, let yourself work. Let yourself get good. Let yourself create. Put yourself in a position to be creating all the time. So if you're an artist, how can you be painting back to back to back until you're finally tired and need a break, right? How can you create from a really creative place? What are your passions? Now, you've done asset lists on eShift. You've made different lists of things. My mom, I don't know if I told the story on the Entrepreneur Shift video series, but my mom, I'll never forget, after she went to a Tony Robbins event, realized that two of her passions are real estate and art. So she had this idea, why don't I draw houses and sketch houses that are for sale? And, you know, when Century 21 puts a house for sale and you see sketches sometimes, I want to do that. So she took a picture of the neighbor's house, went to Century 21 and showed them a drawing that she took a picture of. So she took a picture, then drew it, showed it to them, and they said, you're hired. And she just said, okay. And she just started doing her two passions at the same time and feeling like herself draw and get paid for drawing real estate. Oh my God. It was amazing because you have circled all these different passions and you've written all these things. What about the perfection issue? That's such a perfectionist question. Dropping my work and moving to the next thing and never releasing it due to perfectionism. I wrote half a novel, planned 3 books, and dropped it because I didn't feel the plot was perfect. It's good enough, but not amazing. So I shelved it. Okay. So what I hear you, and that's fine. It's okay to shelve things. It's good to shelve things. It's fine. You can work on something for a long time and totally change your mind on it. You can also start over. You can learn something because even if you shelved it, that doesn't mean it wasn't worth doing. So you wrote a half a novel, planned 3 books, which is too far ahead. Remember, the universe only wants to go one step at a time. So I shelve stuff all the time. Here's a rule I have that you guys might like. If someone comes up to me and says, I saw a video of yours on YouTube, if I find myself thinking, oh, I hope it's not this one, then I immediately put it on private. If I have someone come up to me and say, I saw a video of yours, and I find myself thinking, I hope it wasn't this one, then I put it on private. Why would I put out something that isn't ultimate me? You get one first impression with people. So put out only what you believe is you, but create all day, right? And then eventually you'll start putting out even better than that and better than that and build off of that. And then you'll have this amazing bunch of books or blogs or videos or content or products that's all you. The question is, what about being transparent? Do it. Do it. If it applies to your heart and it works, absolutely. I'm always evolving so that things could be interesting, but I feel it's all perfect if they watch it. Perfect. Isn't that fun? So create, and cherry pick the ones I want to release. Hell yeah. What would happen if you wrote a chapter every other day? You know, like whatever it is. So Sylvia says, how do I know what I want to do because I'm good at it or because it's what I'm meant to be doing? Well, if you have that question, it's not what you're meant to be doing. Because what you're meant to be doing is a step-by-step thing that will take over you. And if it's something you're like, is this what I'm meant to be doing? Then no, because you'd never ask that. You'll never hear me ask that. Am I supposed to be Vivian's father? Of course I am. Of course I am. And the things that are your passion, you never question. And everything in your life that you question is not you. Should I stay? Would I? If you justify keeping it, right? If you justify keeping it, yes, there's some things you could say, does this thing align for me? And then you might actually need to learn something about you inside instead, because sometimes that's an opportunity to show you more of you to bring it to it. But you got to feel in your body, is it expanding me for me to still be in this or to be doing this? Does it make me feel better? Everything you question is not you. If you keep justifying, it's not you. Exactly. Yes, I justify it comes so naturally because I justify because it comes so naturally for me. But in your body, the real you are purpose. Take that in. There's a lot of mind that tries to find your purpose. Take in the concept that already you are purpose just because you're alive. You're in purpose right now watching this video. Like, stop disqualifying you because you think that a purpose that you're going to seek is bigger than you. Be in purpose now. You're in purpose now. Everything you do, even your problems are in purpose. Every mistake you make is in purpose. Every time you do it wrong, you don't make a sale, it's in purpose. Every time you totally screw something up, it's in purpose. Everything's in perfect purpose. It was supposed to happen. Byron Katie says, oh, that was supposed to happen. You know how I know? Because it did. It was supposed to happen. You know how I know? Because it did. You are in purpose. You are in purpose. And sometimes your mind convinces you, no, because of the sibling next to me, I'm not in purpose. Or because I didn't come in first in this thing in 1987, I'm not in purpose. I just want you to get that you are in purpose, and you're trying to find your purpose is something that that's your purpose in that moment, is trying to find your purpose so that you can learn that you just are purpose. So what's the best tell for knowing if you're in your mind and not in your heart, and vice versa? Who wants to know? Who wants to know? Who gets the answer to that question? Mind. In other words, that is a mind scavenger hunt to block you from being in your creativity, trying to figure it out. Why don't you just let it happen? How about you just let it be? Trying to figure it out. Why am I doing this? Oh, it's because of this. Oh, it's because of my mom. It's because of my dad. That's my ego. Oh, you're in purpose. Take it easy on yourself. Everyone take it easy on yourself. Everyone write something about how you're going to be easier on yourself and not need to be as perfect starting after this call. I would love to hear from you. Just, I'm going to relax a little more. I'm going to be willing to do it more wrong. I'm going to take it easier on myself. I'm going to not punish myself so much. Whatever you want to write, I'm just going to relax and be like, good job. I'm going to aim for 5% better. Shit, go 5, 10% better. Not make it perfect. It's trying to make it happen so fast that slows it down. The more patient you are, the faster it moves. Isn't that ironic? I'm going to let myself go more, just be in flow, let myself stumble. I love these. Look at and listen to everyone else's too. Like, really take that in. I'm going to celebrate small wins for once. I'm going to celebrate, just do it. I'm going to do more self-care. I'm going to be more patient. Anything worth fucking up is perfect. I'm going to, whatever, I lost some, staying with my heart, celebrate life. Today, I love what is. I'll act from feeling, looking at my fears of seeing me dive and love that. I'm not going to force anything. I'm going to trust more and allow. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to forgive the old me. I'm going to be in flow and be patient, get out of my own way, celebrate a messy house, breathe. Even when you meditate, you're going to do all this. What if I do nothing? You can never do nothing. You're always in purpose. Sitting is doing something. Sitting for an hour is doing more than most of the things you think you're doing when you do your egoic stuff. The more you do nothing, the more that gets done. Write that down. The more you do nothing, the more that gets done. The more nothing you do, the more that gets done, because you bring more universe in. And I don't mean do nothing like sit and watch TV. That keeps the ego in. I mean the more you do nothing and not distract it. The more you do nothing, the more you just be, the more you sit on the couch and just be, the more you sit outside with the trees. I dare you to relax a little more this week and be gentler with yourself and get your tuner up on what is heavy and let go of that. Yes, I finally get it now. I think this is the call of the century. I feel it too. Thank you. So this is big. Just take it easy on yourself. The easier you are on yourself and the less distracted you are while you're easier, the faster things will move, because you'll be on a higher channel. And in the higher channel, you will not waste time. You will be on a higher alignment. You'll be kinder. You'll be more compassionate. You'll listen more without words. You'll feel more. You have to feel if you're just sitting in nature for a week, right? You have to be with you. And by the way, this is a great time to mention, please grab while you can the last of the meditation retreats and spend 6 days with me. If you like this, come join us for 6 days of this. and come to the E-Shift weekend. Seriously, we have like very little seats left. There's links to the meditation retreat, links to the E-Shift weekend. Come and transcend your stuff and hang with me and have lunch with me. Let me cut up your broccoli. I'm going to come hang with you. Be with us. Come join us, you guys. Come to the E-Shift weekend. Do something different with your life. Let us film you and let us use that to get your work out to people. Are you realizing at the E-Shift weekend, we film it and we're going to make stuff out of it and show you, like it's advertising. Like, come be with us. Come join us at both the E-Shift weekend and the meditation retreat. And it's worth flying out for. People fly out all the time from Australia and different countries. Join us. It's worth it. Come be in your greatness. Don't stay small. So I had to mention that because it just felt natural. Be with us at the meditation retreat. 6 days. I promise you, you will leave a different human being. E-Shift was freaking insane, wasn't it? Need to get over the fear of travel. That's not you. You need to get over the fear of travel by getting on the plane and meditating and getting over your fear of travel. I'm just reading what you guys are saying. E-Shift is still happening for me. I've turned this program and me being behind into a tool for self-abuse. So take a deep breath because you haven't. I'm not quite sure what that means, but you haven't. Your ego has. You are just love. And the Dolby is coming up. Yes. Everyone take a deep breath. Let's connect for a minute. Take a deep breath. Feel different. Feel connected. Feel love. Feel easy on yourself. I want you to be easy on yourself. This is the last of our calls for E-Shift, for the Entrepreneurial Shift video series. I dare you to love yourself as much as I love you. I dare you to allow yourself to step into what I know for a fact you are. I dare you to undo the old attachment to the old story that has nothing to do with what you are, that has not served you, that does not need your attention anymore. I dare you to figure out a way to lock a good 90 days right now of you going beyond you. I dare you to meditate more. I dare you to cut off distractions. I dare you to love yourself. I dare you to cut off the people that make you feel like shit. I dare you to step into your greatness. I dare you. I dare you. I dare you to do something amazing. Please step into your greatness. You have one life. It almost makes me cry how much people do what they can to defend their problem. It's the weirdest thing. It would be like if Michael Jordan got amnesia and had no idea who he was and didn't know anything about his fame and didn't know anything about it. And in the height of his career, the screen is black. Is it for everyone? Are you guys there? Okay, awesome. So this is like if Michael Jordan was at the height of his career and he didn't know who he was, he gets amnesia. So he instead decides to work at a McDonald's. And I'm going up to him going, dude, you're Michael Jordan. You're the greatest basketball player in the world. You should go to a basketball court. And he's like, I'd love to, but I'm about to get promoted to fries. And I'm like, dude, he's like, I got bills to pay. And I'm like, dude, you're Michael Jordan. You're worth billions. Step into it. And he's like, I get it. That's great. But I have management potential in 2 years. And I'm like, dude, you're the greatest in the world. That's how I fucking feel with every one of you. You are as good as the greatest in the world. And I look psycho to people to say that because their evidence that they're not is in their head. And they're so addicted to finding why they're not. And it's exhausting sometimes for me because sometimes I get more into you than you are. And it can be, you have to want it as much as I want it for you. You have to want it more than I want it for you. And if I'm just going to spend my life pulling you up, I'm going to be exhausted. I know how good you are. I've worked with enough people to see there is nobody that I can't find that has that greatness. And who knows what happens if you follow that greatness for a year or 2 or 5? Who knows what happens if you stay in it? It's insane how brilliant you are. And I'm here waiting for partners, people to co-create with, not that stay in their small story and then come up to me and say, I want to work with you. I'm waiting for people who leap. I'm waiting for people who show up and step out of their bullshit story and experience risk so that their old nervous system can fall apart and they put themselves in a position to actually have to change and not be bored enough to sabotage themselves all day because they're now in the middle of the ocean and they need to swim. Most people are trying to learn to swim from the shore, and you'll never learn to swim. Ever. You will never learn to swim. You'll just talk about it. I need to do this more. You stay in the old things. Stop it. Stop it. Risk it. Leap. Go forward. The worst case scenario is you can go back to the shitty thing anyway, and you'll at least know that it was moving forward. You have the potential to be the greatest in the world. You have the potential to create the most conscious, brilliant, innovative business in the world. You are all of that. Risk it. People go, well, there's a lot of risk. Yeah, I hope so. There's no shift if you don't risk it. There's no change. And I'll leave you with this story, and this is something I said today that I'll never forget. But when I was at the height of my comedy career, I ended it because I felt there was something bigger coming. And I felt this connection to my heart. And I went through a year of being shat on by people. I sent my book to my dad. He mailed it back to me, right? There are people that don't necessarily align with what I do, even family members, okay? And when I stepped into my greatness, I got shat on by thousands of people. I even had a friend write a letter to me that said, what have you done with my friend Kyle? Because I was changing. And all of my circumstances fell. And my money fell. And my story fell. And my comedy career fell. And my fans left. And while they fell, I felt my heart. And all my circumstances fell. And then I watched comics that I used to work with suddenly become more famous, like Daniel Tosh and Amy Schumer and Tiffany Haddish. All these people that I was friends with were suddenly becoming household names. And all my circumstances looked like, you better go back into it. You made a huge mistake. But my heart was the only thing I was left with. And I felt like I was standing on a platform and the entire world fell apart. And the platform kept me safe. And for a year, I learned what the hell this heart thing is. I learned that this thing is the only thing I need. And then when I stepped into it, I didn't care anymore nearly on the same level what people thought of me. It's none of my business what they think of me because they're all in their head. And what I'm doing is not something they understand. So then my heart goes, oh, look, Agape, Michael Beckwith's place is having a talent show. And then I did stand up at a talent show. It was like a 4-year-old playing a violin and then me. And then Ricky Beckwith goes, we got to get you to Oprah. And I was like, huh. And then all of a sudden, I realized I was performing at Agape again, and people started giving me their cards. And the people that give me their cards were like the owner of Sony and Paramount. And I used to, in the old days, audition for things for casting directors. And now their bosses are suddenly just handing me their cards and going, we want to put you in shit. We want to just put you in movies. All of a sudden, I'm done with auditions. They want to just put me in movies. I'm like, oh. Then all of a sudden, I'm working with Jim Carrey and Eckhart Tolle. And all of a sudden, I do a gig and 5 people are offering me parts in movies. And all of a sudden, I realize I'm in this world now where I'm the only one in this field that I know of, and I'm open to anyone else. And there might be some people I'm not thinking of, but in comedy, I was one of thousands of comics. And now I'm this comedy and transformation thing. And all of a sudden, all these businesses were dying for me to work with them. And all of a sudden, I'm doing, Unitarian churches, like the churches that are like spiritual and everyone. I'm suddenly booked at every seminar. I'm suddenly doing corporates. I'm doing all the lecture circuits for hundreds of colleges. I all of a sudden had my own field, and because I was the only one doing it that way, my price got to go up. Unity, that's what I'm thinking of. Yes, Unity churches. My price went up. Everything changed. Everything. And now we get 20 gig offers a day. I'm not kidding. So many things come in all the time. And when I finish a gig, people are like, how can I work with you? How can I work with you? All this work is trying to come. Always. That's on the other side for every human being. And I'm dying to find more people that are moving in that way so that they can also love me as much as I love them. And I don't mean love me foundationless because they don't believe in themselves. I mean, they love themselves that much and can expand me when I have a conversation with them and take me beyond me. I'm looking for that. People to step into their greatness and move in their greatness because you're so unbelievable and you can prove me wrong or you can prove me right. Who's in? Kelly says she's in. Who's in for the next 90 days, going with your heart and letting it all fall for your heart? Because there is a world on the other side. I love you guys. You're making me feel good because I'm giving you as much as I got. And if you give me by living in your heart, you will help me change the world. We will change this world. It just needs new people that step into their truth. That's you. And when I went through that hell, it was like a plane going through rainy clouds. I love you guys. It was a plane going through the rainy clouds. And before the plane goes through the clouds, you see a million planes, right? And the plane's going through planes. There's planes everywhere. Then the plane goes through clouds and you're leaving the planes. It's weird how even this analogy works. You're leaving the planes and it's hell. My whole world's falling apart. And then what happens? Ah, you're by yourself and it's just sun. That's a breakthrough. It's just sun. It's just you and love. It's like you left a pond of piranhas and now you're outside of the pond of piranhas and you're not caught in the royal wedding and the stories going on, and you're not caught in the gossip, and you're not caught in defending yourself on a stupid Facebook thread. You're not on the channel of seeing that as an irrelevant thing in your life. You're so much more. Don't get to a certain age and look back and go, what the hell was I doing? What was I doing? Caught in what Katy Perry said. What was I doing? Caught in some Ryan Seacrest moment. What was I doing? Just watching other people be amazing and me worshiping them while I wasn't stepping into it. Don't do that. Make this call and the calls that we did worth it. The value of these calls has nothing to do with what you paid for it. It has to do with what you do with it. This call right now could be worth billions of dollars for you. And you could take a lot of that money and feed a lot of people and get clean water. Go to Charity Water and donate to them. You could get people healthy again. You could get clean water to people. You can help people. Don't take the momentum that you feel right now and let it go down. Move forward. Move forward. If you have to, this call was recorded. If you need me, you can hop on this call. I got 600 videos on YouTube, whatever it is. I'm always here and I'm always going to do more. I'm going to do more every day until I die. And I dare you to join me. I dare you to make something out of your life. I dare you to make people happy. I dare you to be an example and free people. Their life is on the line. There's people around you whose life is on the line. Step into your heart. I love you guys. That was fun. I thought I was going to be too tired for this, but once again, you guys supported me and I felt so good. And I just want to tell you, it's been an honor to serve you. It's been an honor to do these calls with you. Put this on anytime you want. This was my favorite call too, I think, that I've ever had. And I'm honored to be with you guys. Thank you so much for being with me. Take a deep breath. Take it easy on yourself. Live in your confusion a little bit. Feel your body. Feel your compassion. Feel your heart. And know that I'm always right here with you. And we got this. We got this. Thank you so much, Lynn and Lisa and Kalima and Ivy and Becca and Debbie and Todd and Mike. We got